Hello guys, in this video I'm going to cover what prime factorization is and we will go through a few examples. Now, when it comes to the prime factorization of a number, we break the number down into its prime factors. These are the prime numbers that multiply to equal the original number. So, we are decomposing a number or breaking a number down to only the prime numbers. This will make a lot more sense as we go through our examples, and remember, prime numbers only have two factors, 1 and the number itself. For example, 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11 are all prime numbers. Let's jump into our examples, starting with number 1, where we have 30. 30 is a composite number, meaning 30 has factors other than 1 and 30. So we can break this down into other factors, and we keep breaking this down, we keep going until we have all prime numbers. The method we are going to use here is called a factor tree. Now to start this off, we need two factors of 30. So we're looking for a factor pair, we need two numbers that multiply to equal 30. Then we will continue to work our way down until we only have prime numbers. So let's begin with 30. So we're gonna keep breaking this down until we're left with the prime numbers. So let's start by making the tree like this. So we can take 2 and 15. You can take different paths as me. You will always end up with the same prime numbers. So I'm just going to use 2 and 15, but you can use, for example, 3 and 10 if you'd like. But I'm going to use 2 and 15. So as we know, 2 times 15 equals 30. So this one is correct. But the 2 is already in its prime. So we're done with that. So now we're going to break down the 15 once more. So 15, we can take 3 and 5. These are both already prime numbers. So now we are done with getting the prime numbers of 30. So we can write it down like this. 30 equals 2 times 3 times 5. So this will be your final answer. So I'm going to do one more example for 30 for you guys, just so you can understand it a bit better. So I'm going to do one more example for 30 for you guys. So let's erase this real quick. Let's erase this. And I'm going to show you one more path we can take. So we have 30. We're going to make the tree. We know that 5 times 6 equals 30. So we can use this path also. But the 5 is already in its prime. So we're done with the 5. We're going to go break down the 6 once more. So we can do 2 and 3, because 2 times 3 equals 6, like this. So now the 2 and the 3 are already prime numbers, so we are again done. So 30 equals, and we get the same answer. It doesn't matter what order you write the multiplication, because we will always get 30 as our final answer, because 5 times 2 equals 10, 10 times 3 equals 30. In each order you write this, it will always be 30. So let's go to the second one. We have 63. This one can be a bit more complicated because it's a bit more complicated number. So let's break this down together. So we know that 9 times 7 equals 63. So 7 is already in its prime number because I told you at the beginning of the video, the first, I think, 5 prime numbers, and 7 was one of them. Let's write them down right here. The 5 prime numbers we have to use: 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11. These are the 5 prime numbers we're gonna see in this video. So these are the 5 prime numbers. So if you If you think, why is that a prime number? You can just look here and you can confirm that it is actually a prime number. So this is a prime number. We're done with that. Now let's go on to the 9. So we have 9. 9 is not a prime number, so we're going to break this down once more. We know that 3 times 3 equals 9. These are both already prime numbers. So again, we are done with the second example. So 63 equals 7 times 3 times 3. So we are done with the second example. I don't think I have to do another example for the second one for you guys. I think you guys will understand it like this. So let's go on to the last and final example. Let's move this a bit out of the way like this. Let's go on to the last example. So 48. This one's going to be a bit more complicated because we are going to have to do a bit more steps. So let's start with making the 3 ones. So we know that 4 times 12 equals 48. Now, both of these aren't prime numbers. So we're going to have to break down both of these numbers. So 4 is very easy. You can just do 2 times 2. These are both prime numbers, so we're done with this side. So let's break down the 12. Now, for the 12, we know that 3 times 4 equals 12. 3 is already a prime number, but 4 is not. So we have to break down the 4 one more time to 2 times 2, which equals 4, and we get our two last prime numbers. So our final answer for the third and a bit more complicated example will be 2 times 2 times 3 times 2 times 2. This should be your final answer for 48. So this was the video on how to break a number down into its prime factors using the tree method. So I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. You can leave a comment if you have any questions. And this was Mr. Mathz, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.